I'm not afraid of you. The thought echoes in my tired mind like a splash of icy water in a cave as I stare into the darkness. The same darkness I've been staring at for almost 9 months. 9 months. I want to cry, but tears have become as rare as the meals they bring to this forgotten part of the prison. The cells to my left and right are empty. The left one was never populated. The man in the right cell died a few days ago. The stench of decay lacing the dungeons before the guards finally figured out he'd passed away still fills my nose. So I breathe through my mouth and gag on the pleas of the occasional prisoner they take to the gallows I have a view on through the tiny hole in the wall they call a window. I hate this place. More than I hate the people who put me here, I hate it. Not because it took the only man I've ever loved away from me, or the family I'd watched die the day of our arrival, but because it isn't the open sea. It isn't a swaying ship and endless blue waters. Despite being on an island, the brine doesn't reach my cell, and despite my staring into the darkness of the starless nights, the nightmares don't go away. I'm not afraid of you. But I am. I only keep my eyes open because the occasional flicker of a torch along the walls when a guard makes his rounds reminds me the night hasn't swallowed me up. I'm still alive. I should be dead. Boots crunch along the packed dirt floor, and I whirl around, hitting my shoulder on the descending arch of the low ceiling and uttering a curse as I wish I had the dark vision of the fairy night guards. Then I'm glad I don't, because if I did, their beautiful faces would distract me from what cruel, dangerous bastards they are. The boots thud closer, making me shrink against the wall. Maybe I'm not afraid of the dark as much as of the creatures hiding within it. I raise my left hand, as if that would do anything to protect me from whatever is stopping in front of my door, and pray to the guardians that they are merely checking on me rather than picking me up for execution. I wouldn't be the first woman to disappear in the middle of the night. They tell the stories of feathered fairies hunting for brides all over Etheria, I have learned in my short 20 years, even here in prison. Gritting my teeth, I lean against the wall so I don't sway on my weak legs. Not 8 feet from where I stand, the key squeaks in the rusty lock, and a draft creeps through the small space as the door swings open, allowing in more of the stuffy air from the dark corridors behind my equally dark cell. "Move," a deep voice orders, and I jerk into motion as if I decided to, even when my limbs were locked in place a moment before. The fairy is using his magic to direct me toward the exit, his power wrapping around my limbs, forcing them along, and there is nothing I can do about it. Even screams won't help, because there's no one left in this guardian's forsaken dungeon but me. My feet tap over the straw pallet I was sitting on in the corner, and I stumble over the edge, catching myself against the wall with my stiff right hand. The guard's rough chuckle tells me he's still standing by the door, not even bothering to collect me with his hands. And why would he, with the magic at his disposal? I don't care that I stink and frown, and my hair hasn't been combed in months with more than the fingers on my good hand. This fairy doesn't have wings. None of the guards at Fort Perennis do. And so they aren't the ones collecting women at night. When I'm a few steps from the door, a fairy light comes to life, bright enough to take my sight all over again. I grind my teeth and stare through the brightness at the male with the light brown hair in front of whose feet I vomited the day of my arrival. He flicks his fingers at me, a clear summons that I debate ignoring, as his magic releases me and his scowl pins me instead. "You're expected in the general's office." He doesn't look back as he turns on his heels and stalks ahead of me, clearly expecting me to follow. Before I can even think to ask why, he barks, "Move your human ass!" So I do. I stumble along, careful not to hit my toes on the rocks stuck deep in the dirt of the ground, or on the uneven stone steps, which are clearly missing a handrail for feeble prisoners such as me.